Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Talk Show. This podcast is dedicated to a growth mindset. You see, I believe that you know something that I don't know, and I also believe that I know something that you don't know. And the only way for each of us to both rise in our knowings is for us to sit in a room and share all the things. For those of you that are new to the show and love inspirational content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. My name is Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in.
We come to you every day with the best speakers, relationship coaches, spiritual mentors, trailblazers, business owners, authors, young hustlers, podcasters, entrepreneurs, fitness trainers, therapists, financial advisors, and more. We ask our guests one question. What do you know that I don't know? Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Today for this episode of Her Talk Show, we have had over 500 women grace this stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. If you're watching us live, welcome. And if you're watching us on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you are at so we can send you some love. Either way, if you are watching this video, if you could do us a huge favor and share it wherever you are at so we can get more eyes and more ears on the awesome content that we are sharing today. Her Talk Show, it is here to inspire you. It is here to have you thinking outside the box. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Isabelle Zimmerman. Isabelle is a wisdom seeker, spiritual mentor, and creator. Isabelle believes that true wisdom comes from within, and her mission is to help others tap into their inner wisdom and unleash their full potential. She works with individuals and groups using different modalities to help them connect with their inner being and live a more fulfilling life. Welcome, lady.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be with you here, Sabrina, and
Yes,
all my other people that are watching and listening.
I'm so glad to finally have you on. I feel like we've been friends for a really long time and that we just haven't made it work. And then finally, right now, we're making it work.
I know, it's so true.
It feels good. And I just love, everything that you teach. I just think is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so excited to be able to share some of your goodness with our audience on this platform, and to really kind of showcase some of the awesomeness that you're doing, in your community.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I was in corporate America at age 14, working for a company called Equifax. Some of you guys might know Equifax, verifying data. And, it's funny that who gets a job in corporate America at age 14, and to really have a career in IT and operations and corporate America, and to walk away from it completely and go on the spiritual path, I would have never guessed. I would have been like, what? I'm going to walk away from a Victorian house, a marriage, my family. Like, what? Get out of here.
And here you are.
And here I am. Yeah.
So one of the things that I would love to kind of dive into early on in us talking here is connecting with your inner being or your higher mind. I know that that's one thing that you talk about consistently.
Yes.
On podcasts and panels and within your community. So let's dive in. Let's dive in there.
Yeah, I would love to. I think all humans, there's this podcast called Wandering Star, and it goes into Hillary's soul field or past lives, how you want to think of it. I think of it as a soul field. There are only 13 episodes, and you go into those lives, and she wrote it as a story. So I've been doing hypnosis for 6 years. I've done over 1,000 sessions.
In 6 years, you've done 1,000?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I've seen a lot of soul fields. I've seen a lot of lives. I understand we're a multidimensional being. Like I get it. So yes, I'm a psychic. Yes, I channel. So Goddess Isis is my spirit grandmother. And I will tell you, when I was little, I thought I was Egyptian. And I would go to my mom and I would say, Mom, are you sure I'm not Egyptian? And she would say, Isabelle, you are not Egyptian. You are French. And my mother is Parisian French. And I really thought I was Egyptian. And when I was very little, anything ancient Egypt, I was interested in. And so when I would visit my family in Paris, Napoleon went to Egypt and took a ton of Egyptian artifacts. There's like an obelisk in the center of Paris. There's in the Louvre, there's a great exhibit. And so I was always attracted to ancient Egypt. I had no idea why. But when I started channeling, the first entity I channeled was Goddess Isis. And it was May 8th of 2017. There was a series of steps before I got there, but I was in my car at work in a parking lot, and I put on bilateral beats because the CIA understands this, guys. The very elite and smart are very aware of higher consciousness. So when you have bilateral beats, like you can listen to it auditory, but I didn't want any earbuds in my ears. My stereo in my car, I knew I would be able to hear the 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 two oscillating sounds.
Okay.
When you listen to the oscillating sounds, it crisscrosses your hemispheres of your brain,
Okay.
which opens up abilities of awareness or focus. So if you're not aware spiritually, just know, even if you listen to bilateral beats studying for your homework or whatever, you will have more focus. You will be able to retain the information.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So there's a practical level. So I was listening to bilateral beats and I said, I would like to connect with my spirit guides or beings of light. Now, I did not know who I was going to connect with, but I wanted to connect with my beings of light. So then I meditated. At this point, I had been meditating for 365 days. I'm a very sciencey psychic. So I used a device called Heart Math. And it's an app on your phone, and it's a little device that clips on your ear. It's biofeedback for coherence. And now I teach meditation, but whatever. So
I've actually seen heart math in real life.
yes. And I highly recommend it. I meditated for 3 minutes a day before I walked into my business. Before I walked into my corporate job, that's where I would meditate because it was so hard for me to get out the door. If my dog saw me still parked in the driveway, like that was not going to happen. So I did it right before I walked into work for 3 minutes and meditated, and then sometimes during lunch. So you don't need a lot of time, guys. What's nice about heart math, I mean, it's like $200, but it's not that you need it because you can no excuses. You can meditate without a device. It's just that I wanted the data. I wanted to know my coherence. That's why I did it. But there are plenty, even on my podcast, YouTube, Instant Timer, there are plenty of guided meditations to meditate for free. Okay, so no excuse. So I meditated. I'm listening to the bilateral beats. I have a physiological experience. I feel this intense pressure in my third eye. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm having a physiological experience. This is so cool. And then with my eyes closed, I saw this yellow energy and it was just popping before my eyes. Again, the scientist in me is like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having this. Then I said, do you have a message for me? And then I heard, because it sounds like you, just so when you channel and you connect with your inner being, it's almost like you're reading a book, but you did not write the words. So if I gave Sabrina my book to read, it's her voice that's reading the book, but those are not her words. Do you understand?
So your voice, but not your words.
Correct.
Okay.
So I heard Iris. And I went, oh, I love the flower Iris, because I said, who am I speaking with? And I heard Iris. And then they said, no, Isis. Sabrina, I mean this. I never had chills from the top of my head to my toes.
Wow.
I had a full body chill. And then Goddess Isis, she flashed me her face. It looked like a reversed image. So back in the day, we used to have film, and they were like these little strips. And if you held them up, you could see the image.
Yeah.
That's how it appeared to me. Very fast, very quick, saw her face. And then I got freaked out a little bit because I connected. And I can't remember her message, but it was like some message around love. And then I was shaking. I went upstairs and I started to research Goddess Isis. And I went to these most obscure websites. So pay attention to what you see on the computer, what you see on Facebook, nothing is random, which I've come to find out the hard way. You are always being guided. So like if you go to Wikipedia, but for whatever reason, you start reading the footnote and you want to click. Like allow spirit to come through you to research, to click. When something resonates, you feel it. It is not logical. It resonates. It's a vibration. Spirit, the universe, God, source, Allah, whatever you want to call it, it matters not to me. Higher consciousness does not matter. It operates on frequency and vibration, and that's why that resonance is felt within you.
Is it all the same thing? Just they have a different name for it?
I think so.
I love that. And I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that spirit, and I just say spirit, and yes, I Goddess Isis is she's been with me since a baby. Now I understand why I was so attracted to Egyptian things. My upline, my inner being. So Goddess Isis is my guide, my spirit grandmother. I had no idea that there was family on the other side, just to let you know. But so is above, so is below. So my inner being is Goddess Athena. And it took me a really long time, Sabrina, to accept that I'm her embodiment, because I couldn't fathom that I was her creation as Isabelle. Now, even though I'm Athena's embodiment, my spirit guides are also part of my vibration, my beliefs, my experiences. This is way more complicated than one thing. It is never either or that. It is always and more. So just because I am aware at this level of consciousness, as Isabelle is your sister, does not mean I know the entirety. There is always more for me to understand. Now, when I channel and connect with galactic beings, I feel like the student trying to learn algebra, and they're way ahead of me at times because they have more remembrance. But when we came here incarnated, we don't remember our lives. Now, we are in the grand ascension. And so you are becoming aware of your other aspects of yourself. You might have a dream. You might go to a country, or you walk into a store and you have deja vu. You are becoming more aware that there are different realms or dimensions or different aspects of you. But it is a process, because when you're little, you actually remember more. And as the conditioning continues, you forget more and more of that other side. And so a lot of children are displaying psychic ability now. A lot of people are more aware of their different incarnations, and then understanding how their incarnations impact this incarnation is another journey of understanding, which is a lot. So I'm going to pause because Spirit just told me to to pause.
So this incarnation, oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like the butterfly effects
Yes.
a little.
Yes, Sabrina.
Okay.
It's not that your incarnations cannot create in this reality, but that does not mean it does not impact your reality. So what your exploration was. So Sabrina's story, if you guys have been following her, you are very aware of her story, right? Now, look at Sabrina energetically, how she went from being in a loving community to being outcasted for being authentic. And what does Sabrina allow us to do here on this platform? To be authentic.
Yeah.
So she had the bravery and courage to be authentic. But if Sabrina goes under, I'm pretty sure we will find that life where she was authentic in that life, because she had that skill set from that life bringing forth into this life.
Beautiful. So this is very interesting to me. And I have a question about this. I was watching, and this is just, I'm just curious on what your take is on it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you would even know the answer to this. I was watching something about a month ago that was saying that it was on the subject of reincarnation, and that it's the same million plus people living a life over and over again until they transcend.
Yes. So that's actually pretty close. So you have reoccurring themes in your lifetimes, and you chose your parents, you chose your siblings, you chose your spouses, especially if you had children. That's a soul contract. There are agreements on the other side. I have often, 1,000 sessions in, I have often uncovered the same entities tend to incarnate together and play roles for each other. New entities do come, of course, but I would say if you could look at your incarnations as a book, which is ironic because there is an Akashic record, which are books of lives, of souls that are recorded. No information can be lost. And Stephen Hawking's uncovered that black holes, the information's not lost, which is what he was known for. So your other lives are other chapters or other books or other paragraphs of your soul tapestry. And understanding your soul tapestry is a beautiful transformational process, because you understand who came into your life, why you experience what you experience, what you were supposed to transcend, to bring separation into oneness. So let me say it to you in another way. Let's say you came here to understand trust. So you may encounter a lot of betrayal, because the polarity of trust is betrayal.
Okay.
Okay. And polarity is positive ion, negative ion. We say the negative ion is negative, but that is just what our value and meaning is. But in actuality, it is neutral. It is all love. Nothing can not be love. Source is pure love. But the polarity here is very intense. So if you have sadness, the other end of that spectrum is love. So let me give you an example. If you lost your teddy bear, you would feel very sad because you loved your teddy bear so much. Okay?
Yes.
So logic and emotion are the other spectrums. The divine feminine and the divine masculine is the other spectrums of the same polarity. So understanding polarity, moving from your construct mind of duality and raising that vibration to understanding polarity. So for example, if you have a banker, the polarity may be a bank robber. You cannot have a bank robber without a banker. You cannot have hot without cold. It is the law of polarity. And once you understand the law of polarity, you can soften your judgment. Now, going back to the soul field, you are exploring a theme, an overarching theme in many lives for you to understand the whole of that energetic pattern. And it is a pattern. So I get to see geometric patterns within people's souls. And it literally is a pattern for me, a geometric. But I'm a very sciencey. So some people see auras. People will understand colors. I understand energetic patterns and understand what that soul is trying to explore. Most humans, there is a divine blueprint. So all humans are exploring abandonment. All humans are exploring rejection. The pain and suffering is the separation that we feel from source, the light. The more light something holds or love, the higher vibration you are in. When you drop into darkness or denser frequency, it is because it doesn't hold as much light. So it feels energetically painful. But we are never separated from source, because source extended source's light out. So we are source's light. But it's the exploration of moving from separation into unity. So we're exploring a polarity of unity and separation. And separation feels very painful, everyone. It is the loss of love. It is the loss of light. And we feel it. So you can only imagine my surprise where clients are going under regression, and we explore a life not of a human. We explore an alien life. And to come to my surprise, I find out that there are worlds where they do not die. They have a physical form, but they are eternal. That blew my mind. And it didn't happen just once.
That was told to you by someone or something?
Yeah, so they're under. So we're exploring a life.
Regression. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm asking questions, sort of like you're interviewing me, right? So when I do a regression, I'm facilitating that regression, but I'm similar to what you do all day long, Sabrina. I'm actually asking questions like, how do you feel? What do you see? let's go to the next important day. What was the purpose of that? What was the exploration, right? So that we can get that clarity and understanding. So in those so Dolores Cannon is her technique that I learned from. But if you read Dolores Cannon's book, she had uncovered, not that I knew that at that time, but I then she had uncovered that also. Now she was a pioneer in this industry. She started doing regressions in the 1960s, and she was very much like a journalist, because at that time people thought it was woo woo and it wasn't real. So she liked to go into these lives and prove them true. So she wanted to know if they were in a human life. She wanted to have some human knowledge that she could go back to history and prove that that was true. Like that person would have never been able to research that or know that without experiencing that life. So to me, she already proved past lives, which are just a multidimensional aspect of you, but those lives exist. But thank goodness she did.
Yes. This is very interesting to me, and definitely something that I have been dabbling in over the last couple of years. As far as, when you and I, before we got online live here, you had said, because for those that don't, nobody knows, but like Isabelle and I met in another conversation with other people, and we just kind of immediately clicked.
Mm-hmm.
And Isabelle said, like, there was just something about you. I felt as if I had known you from a past experience life.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to project words into your mouth. So I'm assuming you said that because that's something that you believe, that you can feel a vibration of knowing somebody from the past.
Yes, it resonates. I may not know the life, or spirit will tell me the life, or I might get a glimpse, but it definitely resonates.
How can somebody figure that out? Because I do. I have one or two relationships in my world where I feel like there is a past there. Is there a way to drop into that, to like do more research internally myself with that?
Yes. Yes. So if it's governed by your inner being, that it's good for you to know this information, the information will drop in. All you have to do is meditate and say, I would like to see the life with my friend Isabelle. Can you show me a glimpse of that life? Now, I was just telling you that, and I saw us. Like I saw us in ancient Egypt in that life. Like I saw us walking together.
Were we looking good?
We were.
Were we wearing some gold?
We had gold bracelets, and we were wearing white.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, we were wearing white, and we had gold bracelets, and we were sort of like what we're doing now, just chit-chatting, talking away, just walking. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And it was just a quick flash. And so trust the flash. Do not let your ego mind saying, oh, I made that up. Oh, I'm imagining that. One of the worst things that we did here as a species to our planet was saying that imagination was not real. So, and I'm going to write this article, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm bringing a lot of science into it. But one of the things that I would like the humans to understand is you attract your thoughts. You do not create your thoughts. So when you imagine something, that means it exists in the plasma field. You cannot make up anything. You are attracting that vibration and that thought for a reason. Your brain is a processor and an antenna. And so there are thought forms. And so when you ask your inner being, can I see this life with my friend? Can you just flash me an image? It will be, this is what it's like. I want you all to think of a yellow square. Can you see it in your mind's eye?
Yeah.
But you do not see it here. But it's like a memory recall. You can see that yellow square in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
That's what a download is. You can see it in your mind's eye, but not in front. It's very fast, very fast.
I love this. So you attract your thoughts. You do not make up your thoughts.
You do not make up any thoughts. So any thought. So one of the things that I teach constantly.
So it's from something that you already know. You can't think up.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anything that I'm even right now, I'm trying to like think of a thought, but the only reason I have the thought is because I know of the thing.
Really what's happening, and this is very advanced. This is very, very advanced.
Okay.
This was a recent download from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my.
And I asked Spirit, and I didn't want to disconnect from it, but I asked Spirit, can you explain thought forms? They are a thought form. So MIT can put electrodes and then put you on an fMRI machine, and they now have software to see what you're thinking. Because it's
in word form or in a vibration form.
It's all your thoughts are energy. So MIT has finally figured out a way to read your thoughts and see it visually on the screen.
I don't even believe that.
Yeah, true story. Can't make it up. So, which is good, which is very good that we're finally get to that level. So once humans understand thoughts are energy, everything is energy. See, what happens is we're so myopic here. We are so myopic. We look at parts and we do not look at wholes. If I said to you, Sabrina, everything is energy, you would say, okay. And then I would be like, no, Sabrina, everything is energy, including your thoughts. Oh, well, I thought everything was energy, like physical stuff. I didn't really think about emotions as energy or my thoughts as energy. And actually, Isabelle, I don't even really think about my vibration other than when somebody says good vibes.
Okay, wait, before we continue on with this, because I want you to continue. Myopic. I'm assuming I've never heard that word before. It means basic.
Just one.
Basic.
Myopic. One
thought.
One thing. Myopic. We're like this. Very myopic.
Okay.
We're only looking at one thing.
Okay.
We're not like this. We're like this. We're like those little horses with this little.
The blinders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And awareness, which is so funny. The awakening is the awareness. Aware. Not like this.
Okay. Got it. And that's a slow process to open that.
It is a process. It is a process to unlock the keys to your awareness. And what I would say is for like everyone, every human watching this, really go listen to that podcast, Wandering Star in the Soul Field. Of course you could reach out to me. Of course you can go to Attracting Wisdom. Of course you can get a session. But, there are phases and stages, and when you're ready to go into your soul field, you'll know. You'll be ready to be, one of the most interesting things was they wanted me to write another article around hypnosis. So they want me to write an article around thought forms so that people understand you attract all your thoughts and where humanity is in the understanding of science. And when I was going on NIH.gov, so National Institute Health.gov, it's an American website for it's a government medical site, just so you know. But anyways, I go to that site because that's where the PhDs, the doctors go, the white papers are. It's very refined research. And that's why Isabelle Zimmerman personally goes. So I went to that site to just see where humanity was in the understanding of hypnosis. And I uncovered that there was sleep temples in ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. And a sleep temple was where there was no word for hypnotize. Hypnotize is a modern word.
Okay.
Okay. So they would go to sleep to connect with spirit. And there's hieroglyphics and paintings of showing humans laying down and spirit coming, because that's what I do. When you get hypnotized with me, it's, yes, we go into your soul field just so you understand a little bit more who you are, because you really need to understand you are way more than the image in the mirror. But then what I do is I bring in your spirit guides and your inner being, and I facilitate that connection so that you can channel, so that you're connected to your non-physical team. I want you to be empowered. I want you to hear them. So all I need to do is undo that conditioning here, strengthen the connection, and then off you go. Be free, my love. Be free. So the sleep temples, that is what ancient Egyptians were doing. And so was Goddess Isis. Goddess Isis had a sleep temple. And when she told me to learn QHHT, I was in the middle of a meal, an email at work, color coding, bullet points, attachments, the whole thing. Spirit comes, and Goddess Isis said, I want you to learn hypnosis. I want you to learn QHHT. And I remember saying to her, how much is this going to cost and how much time is this? I had no desire to do hypnosis. And she said, I want you to go to Dolores Cannon's website right now on Facebook Live. And I saw somebody channeling, and I went, ooh, oh, now I'm interested. Because I really didn't care about people's stories. Like, your story is your story, whatever. Let's move on. It's a story. You know, we all have a story. But when I saw them connected to their inner being, I was like, oh, now I'm interested. So anyways, I learned. I went to Vancouver. I've been doing it for 6 years now, over 1,000 sessions. And so I have really a greater understanding. But I would say to you, you just have to be ready to go into your soul field, because it is transformational. It's like, the only way I can explain it, it's like having sex. You can read about it. You can take a class on it. You can hear your girlfriends and your friends tell you about sex. But until you have sex yourself, that's when you have your aha moment, you know. Then you're like, oh, now I get it. Right.
Yeah.
And so it really is like that. Like, I can tell you all about this, but you just need to experience it yourself. And it's beautiful, because once you understand that you are never alone, and that you have a higher consciousness or an inner being and spirit guides, and then once you understand your exploration in your other incarnations, and see how magnificent and beautiful you are and powerful you are, I mean, that's just priceless. Priceless.
Absolutely. What would you suggest is someone's first step if they're listening live, they're listening on the replay? We got a ton of people watching live right now. They're like, Isabelle, they're resonating with everything Isabelle's saying.
Thank you.
What's the first step? What should they be doing? I mean, obviously connect, right? Connect.
You know, so let's pretend I don't do past life regressions. Like, you know, and again, absolutely, you can reach out to me. I'm not saying that, but let's just take me out of the equation. All right. What I would recommend is start meditating. Really start meditating. Stop being neglectful. don't have time. Don't give me any ego mind excuses, because I could not care less. But really start meditating. The reason why is you need, in order to be connected with your inner being. Look, if you had a near-death experience, you come back knowing that you are a spirit, that you are loved, and that you have an inner being. You do come back with that knowledge. You are forever changed on your near-death experience. However, you still need to cultivate that connection. Even though you were pushed into the deep end right away, you still need to connect to nature. You need to meditate. You need to start journaling. You need to seek greater understanding and remembrance. It's not that you don't know, it's just that we have been put here under the veil of forgetfulness. It is an electromagnetic field. The earth, if you study the Schumann resonance, you can see the vibration of our planet is rising in hertz. You know, me personally, Isabelle self-studied quantum physics for 6 years. And I am very grateful that I was inspired through my inner being to study quantum physics. So when spirit came to me and gave me the metaphysical teachings, I had a reference point as this human to understand these concepts. I needed both in order to remember in my remembrance. I don't fully remember. Yes, I remember my other lives. Yes, I've explored. Yes, I am just sharing my remembrance to spark your remembrance. And whatever resonates with you is for you. It is my honor. It is my joy to assist in the remembrance and the awakening of who we truly are. But it's okay wherever you are in your journey. It's a beautiful process. And sometimes it's bumpy. The other thing I would say in your awakening journey, buddy up. Get a buddy, because it's going to be bumpy, because it's a little freaky to literally have everything you've been taught and conditioned to find out it's the illusion. It's a little freaky. Like, no joke, guys. Get a friend. Get a friend. Because as much as it's beautiful and we move into oneness, there is resistance. There is a surrendering. Isabelle Zimmerman, what's a surrendering? I'll tell you what a surrendering is. This is one of my favorite analogies, but just imagine you're walking with me, and Sabrina and I, we have 2 heavy suitcases, but each, okay? We got our plane crashed. Thank goodness. You know, we survived it. You know, the pilot said, "Hey, I can't take you, but I'm going to go get help. Just go straight ahead. There's a hotel there." So Sabrina and I are like, okay, what else are we going to do? So we start dragging our suitcases because the pilot said there was going to be a hotel there. So we're going in the direction of the hotel. Well, lo and behold, it turns out Sabrina and I get totally lost. And now we're in the middle of the desert, and we're like, well, the pilot will find us. But as we're dragging our suitcases, days pass, more days pass, and then we realize, oh my God, we might not get found. That's our come to Jesus moment, right?
Okay.
And then, you know, spirit is like, let go of your luggage, let it go. And Sabrina and I are like, it's got our clothes, our suntan lotion, it's got water, it's got some food. We can't let this go. No way are we surrendering this luggage. No way. Well, as we continue to walk, our arms are about to fall off, and then we're crying. We're just crying. And so Sabrina and I, we have a brilliant idea, and we say, let's condense our suitcases. So we're like, how many pairs of underwear do we really need? How many bras do we need? what do we really need? And so we condense our stuff to one suitcase.
Okay.
So now we're walking and we're trying to cheer each other on, like we can do this. We can do this. We're going to find the hotel, because Sabrina and I were both survivors, and we're like, we can do this.
Yeah.
So after days and days and days, we're figuring out we're only walking at night. We're taking cover in the sun. Like we're good. We're like, we got this. But even then we're pushed. Right.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, Sabrina, Spirit is saying we have to let go of these suitcases. And so we looked at each other in another come to Jesus moment. And I said, we really might die. Like, this is it, baby girl. Like, this is it. And it is my honor to die with you. And I love you. And so I know I could cry right now. So I said to her, I love you. And we're going to have to reduce our shit to our cosmetic bag. And I'm scared shitless that we might die. But let's do it. Let's take as many steps as we can. And let's just go for it. When we surrender to that cosmetic bag, and it was emotionally, physically hard to do so.
Yeah.
Over that hill is the hotel. And that's how it's like, guys. Like, it feels very intense to let go of that luggage because you think it is so vital to your survival.
Yeah.
It is very, very hard. This is the trust and this is the faith. But this is why I'm so passionate helping people to connect to their inner beings, because they now know without a shadow of a doubt that spirit is real. And if I can give them that connection, then they'll be able to let go of their luggage and trust in spirit and faith.
Absolutely. That's great. That is absolutely beautiful. What a way to end it.
Thank you.
Yes. I so appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for sharing so much awesomeness. I took a whole page of beautiful notes. So I'm so excited. And to be able to look some of this stuff up and do a little more research on my own as far as, my own story and my own questions that I've had. And very similar things where like there's just people in my world where I'm like, I feel like I've known you before. I feel like this is very deja vu. I feel like there's a connection.
Because you have. You have. So listen to that. Listen to that instinct. You're not crazy. Yeah. It's just that, one of the weirdest things that I uncovered here was particle physics is only taught at a graduate level. So when you go to undergraduate to get your physics degree, they're still teaching atoms and nucleus and physical matter. But if you become a graduate degree, you understand it is all electromagnetic fields and that there is no particles. So it's very confusing because this feels very physical, but these are electromagnetic fields that you're feeling, and a neutron or a nucleus getting mass through the Higgs boson. But energy creates matter. And there are many different forms of energy. You cannot see your emotions, but my word, can you not feel it? And my word doesn't not impact your day. When you're high vibing, everything is going smooth. When you're low vibing, you're stubbing your toe and dropping your coffee.
Yeah.
But you can't see that emotion.
Yeah.
But it is energy and it is a frequency. You can't see infrared light either, but the microwave works, you know?
You know what would be really interesting to have a conversation with you at some point in the future, even on this podcast, about, speaking of energy, I was just, before I got on with you, I was with some friends, not really friends, but they're like business associates, or we were talking about narcissism. We have some things that we're planning, some collaborations that we're making around narcissism and the energy
Yes.
that is given to the victim or to the whatever you want to call
Guess what the
yourself.
polarity is for narcissistic?
I don't know.
Empaths.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that funny how
But that would
empaths?
be, yeah, that would be I feel like that would be a very interesting conversation and eye-opening for a lot of our listeners just in general and how that relates. I don't think, kind of like what you were saying before with um, my, the one thing, what do you call it? The myopic,
Oh, myopic.
myopic,
Myopic.
myopic. Oh, I did spell that phonetically right. Um, myopic thinking as far as energy goes and not really recognizing how the energy, the negativity that is within an entire household vibrating not only to the spouse or the partner but to your children, and how that, you know,
Impacts
funnels
and
down.
creates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
funnels
Yeah.
down so far, like genetically and into your soul and
There
carries
is.
on.
Yeah.
That would be
Absolutely.
interesting.
Absolutely. It would be my honor. I would love to collaborate on any level, my beautiful sister, whether it's a workshop or just a conversation, whatever
Love
it
that.
is my honor.
Yeah.
And understanding energy is also a really good thing. Now, I don't know if the listeners are going to do self-study quantum physics, but just simple things. One of the things that I always look, eventually you're going to want to go into your soul field, and you could either do it through meditation or you could go to a facilitator of somebody who does hypnosis like me. Okay. But it's not that it's necessary. It's a shortcut. It's a quickening. So you have to be ready. Like, are you ready to have sex? Then okay, let's do it. But you got to be ready.
Yeah.
All right. So meditating and observing your thoughts. The reason why meditation is so hard and a lot of humans resist it is because they can't sit still. It's uncomfortable. It's initially uncomfortable. So one of the things that I teach is I ask you to go get an ice cube and put it in your little hand. And I want you to squeeze that ice cube. And when you find out, what happens is it feels hot eventually.
Yes. Because
And
it's
it's,
so cold.
yes, counterintuitive, is it not?
Okay.
So when you meditate, when you start meditating, it's going to feel like the ice cube. You're going to want to stop. You're going to want to quit. It's going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because your brain and your ego mind has to give, and almost like it, a lot of spiritual teachers will call it the monkey mind, and it's like da-da, and like let the monkey chirp, let the monkey go let it go, let it
Yeah.
be, and then eventually the monkey will quiet. And then you follow your breath. You bring it back to the breath. You bring it back to the breath. And with that practice, then you can observe your thoughts, because when you have so many thoughts, you're not observing. But then you can observe a reoccurring thought. Oh, this is my worry. Oh, okay. And then you can slow it down and then you journal. Why am I upset? What and you start off like, I feel judged. I feel like I failed. I feel like I didn't come to the game the most. I feel like a fraud. I did not deliver. Wait, if I didn't deliver, am I not worthy? Did I lie? Was I not truthful? Who did I let down? Who was I trying to save? Why am I judging myself wrong? But do you see what I mean?
Mhm.
It allows you to expand on it to get those golden nuggets, because whatever that is, you'll feel it. And then if you cry, hallelujah for tears,
Yeah.
because tears is greater awareness. And the it's so ironic that we are taught here to suppress emotions because your emotions are your magic. You do not think to connect with spirit. You feel. You do not think to do magic. You feel. And even having sex, when you feel it, instead of thinking, you can relax and have your orgasm. If you're thinking, you're not having one.
You're right. Yeah.
It's counterintuitive.
You're right. That totally makes sense. People who are listening live and want to find you, where can they go? Where do you hang out?
Yes. So please subscribe to my website, only because I do newsletters. I have classes coming up. We're doing a fun class on divination. I really want humans to start using the tarot to connect with spirit, because spirit connects with symbols and images. If tarot, it matters not. I don't care if you use tarot. I don't care if you use a comic book page. I don't care what you use. I just want you to connect with spirit. Okay. So like you can buy a book and just open up a book and use that as divination. Okay. Whatever. Anyways. And then another a healing class. So the divination is a fun class, but the healing class is really understanding your abandonment wound and your rejection wound. And that will be going through body work, understanding, and guided meditation, so that we do some transformative healing. And that will be on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, online. So,
beautiful. And that's on your website?
Not yet, but spirit, I promise I'll get it up there within a weekend, in a few days. But yeah, spirit has really been telling me that this divine blueprint of abandonment and rejection must be understood.
Got it. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Isabelle. This has been a delight on multiple levels. I so appreciate you. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Thank you so much for spending time with Sabrina and I. Really, thank you. I know you guys are all so busy, and it is my honor to be here with her. And thank you. Thank you so much.
I love it. If you resonate with Isabelle and all the goodness that she shared, make sure to check her out at attractingwisdom.com. And you can find all of her goodness there. We love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure that we all continue to rise. Thank you so much for joining us here, Isabelle, and those of you listening live. This platform is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and love content like this, make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I am so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others.